Thanks, Julius. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in again. Real quick, I want to say thank you to the show supporters, States Vegas Clothing. If you haven't checked those guys out, go to their Facebook page and let them clothe you, local folks of Statesville. Also to Hunk of Junk Hauling. If you need any junk hauled off, give them a call, 704-657-6778, and I will post links to both those folks to the website and to the YouTube channel. So tonight, I'm excited about tonight's show because there is a topic that needs to be discussed, needs to be talked about more, and it is bullying. And tonight's guest is Mr. Marvelous.
Mr. Marvel, actually.
Mr. Marvel.
Well, I'm quite marvelous as well.
Well, that's what I've been told. But you actually go around to schools with a school board approved anti-bullying campaign and help. And I think that's fantastic. It's wonderful. Now that I'm a father of two, it's something that, man, I don't know what I'm going to do when someone is bullying my kid and they come home, because it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
One thing's for sure, two things for certain. It's going to happen, right? So, how do you teach kids not to bully? How do you teach kids or help kids who are getting bullied? And then how do you tell the parents, don't lose your mind and go to jail? Because I really need to listen to that.
Well, I don't talk to the parents, but the kids, hey. Yeah, the things we talk about, we try to, there are routines in the show that hopefully let the kids have an understanding of what bullying feels like. And also, there's a role-playing portion of the show that gives them an idea of what it feels like. Actually, they get to play as they're bullying. And they don't bully a person, I have them bully a piece of paper.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what I'll do. I'll have them bully a piece of paper, right? I usually get an older girl up to do this. And I'll say, we can't bully someone. We're going to bully a piece of paper. This is going to let you guys know what bullying looks like. It's going to let you know what bullying feels like. Okay? So the girls take the paper, and I'll have her say something mean to the paper. You can't say it to someone else, but say something mean to the paper. Mm-hmm. And, I'll give her something to say, like your paper's got a smudge on it, or, hey, you don't even have any lines on your paper, or something silly. There's K through 5. And she will. And the other kids think it's funny. And I'll put a pair of googly eyes on the paper and have the paper respond to them and stuff like that. Kids start laughing at the paper and they start having fun with it.
They start engaging.
They do. And so I'll get all the other kids to say, well, you guys say something to the paper. You say, bully the paper. And they do. And I have the girl, I say, look, this, say, smash up the paper. And she smashes it up. Mm-hmm. We're smashing up the paper. I say something else bad to it. Spread a rumor about the paper.
Right.
And the other kids, I say, hey, guys, you do it too. You do it too. And the paper's all upset and got the googly eyes on it. It's kind of a cartoon-looking thing. They think it's a big joy.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. I'm trying to get them, to join in.
Sure.
And so once they do, I say, I want you to throw the paper on the floor. I want you to step on the paper, all that stuff.
Right.
And so we did all this mean things to the paper. And the paper was really upset. I say, apologize to the paper. And she does. I said, guys, you all laughed at the paper. And you were picking fun of it when she was, should we make fun of someone that's getting bullied? Of course not. I say, guys, apologize to the paper. And they do. And I'm unfolding the paper as I'm saying all that, right? I said, we said a bunch of mean things to the paper. We made fun of it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't do. And you apologized to it. I'm glad you did. And I really feel like you meant it.
Right.
But even though we apologize to somebody, it doesn't take away everything we said. It doesn't take away everything we did. It doesn't take away everything we text or wrote about on Facebook. You see that paper? We apologized to it. We really meant it. But look at it. Never going to be the same.
How powerful is that? And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, all right, paper, okay, but now I get it.
It's never going to be the same.
Because
it's
still
scratched. It's still marred up. It's still bent, and we can try to straighten up. So it's just like never going to be the same. I know people that have been out of school for 40 years. And they relate to that because they still feel.
Sure.
They still feel the hurt from when they were bullied. when they were a kid. They still feel that.
You know, I don't think a lot of people understand the impact of what words they say to someone
Oh yeah.
really have. And you can say, I'm sorry, and you can say, you know, you can give all the excuses in the world, and the person will forgive you, but it's going to take them a while to maybe forget, or they may never forget.
Don't forget.
You know?
Never be the
Because
same.
some of those cuts are deep.
Never
you
be
know?
the same.
And you look at kids, and kids are like, I look at my little 2-year-olds, you know, or twins now, and I think of how if I use the wrong tone or even the wrong look when I'm trying to get their attention, they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, it hurts their little feelings.
Yeah.
So although I'm trying to protect them or teach them not to do something, if someone else is doing that in a way to inflict emotional harm or damage to them, it breaks my heart to think that that's going to happen.
Sure. Hey, I'm the bully guy, you know.
Yeah.
And I still struggle with, you know, how to respond to hearing about somebody that's done some bullying or things like that. You know, it took 2 years to put this show together because I didn't want to do anything wrong.
Right. Yes, I'm sure you have to go through a lot. I
didn't want to do any harm.
Right.
So looked at a lot of different things that a lot of different guys did with that type of a show. And once that was done, then we had it approved with the school board.
So you actually put a show together, and then you have to present it?
Yeah, I did. I presented it at the Boys and Girls Club, and they came down. They took a look at it. That was 2 years ago, and then they approved it because they want to make sure that I wasn't doing any harm.
Sure.
And all good. All good. And then I was able to find a sponsor for it. So I don't have to charge the schools. Offer it to the schools free.
Okay. Can you say who your sponsor is to give them a plug?
The sponsor, original sponsor was Alarm South, and this past year, sponsor was a company called Reliant. They're very generous, and that sponsorship's kind of run its course.
Okay. So you're looking for a new sponsor, possibly.
Yeah. Looking for some company or something.
Maybe if there's anyone out there at the end of the show listening, and they want to be a part of, or maybe more than one. Maybe it's a collaboration of sponsors. You know, they can get in touch with myself, or I can get in touch with you, and we can make it happen. Because look, you know, things happen, and things have happened in our area recently because of bullying, and it's unfortunate. And I think people are so afraid of maybe being politically correct or stepping on a few toes, that, you know, sometimes you have to do those things to do the right thing, if that makes sense, or to save someone from a certain situation. Like, I listen to a podcast called Crime Junkies. Like, if it's anything about murder or something just really twisted, I listen to it or I watch it. My wife's worse than I am. But rule number one is, if you're in a situation to where you feel like you're in danger with a stranger, be rude, right? Because you're never going to see that person again. If there's a guy on the side of the road who has a cast on who says, "Can you help me get my wallet out of the trunk?" Don't go to the trunk. Rule number one, not to get murdered. Don't go to the trunk. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So you can be rude. But sometimes if you see something going on in public where someone's bullying someone, you know, a lot of people won't say anything. It's like that ABC show. What is it? What Would You Do? Or NBC? If you saw something going on in a public place, would you say something? Many people don't.
A lot of the shows teaching kids to be what they call upstanders instead of bystanders. Step in, help. Yeah. Step in. You know, stand up for someone you see getting picked on. Tell a teacher. You know, tell the principal. Tell an adult what's going on. That kind of thing. And you know, we talk about the power. You talked about the power of words and choices. Have a routine that talks about, you know, how words can affect.
Right.
You know, how every word you say can change the way a person thinks and feels about themselves. And so, you know, I give examples of bad words that they can use and how they affect, and then good words. And kids say good words, and I can do better magic when they say good words. Kind of thing. You know?
They give you Mr. Marvel powers.
Hey, you know, the magic thing gets their attention. I've had kids stand up in the middle of the show, raise their hand. Little kid, tell me how about, you know, bullied. In the middle of the show, the show gave them the strength and the power, the permission,
right,
to raise their hand and say, Mr. Marvel, this happened to me. And I say, wow, okay. We'll tell the teacher. We'll let them know. Right in the middle of a show. I know it's effective.
How many kids have you spoken to so far, do you think?
Probably over 6,000 kids.
Over 6,000 kids?
Yep.
At 5,000, I shortchanged you.
Well, yeah, that's okay. I probably told you 5,000. The way I figured it was this. Effectiveness. If I don't know, small number, 1% of 6,000 kids, that's 60 kids. Mm-hmm. If I've convinced 1% of the 6,000 kids not to bully, I'm not supposing they were going to bully, so 1%, it's a low number.
Right.
If I've convinced 1%, 60 kids not to bully, and I'm going to just say that if a kid's a bully, probably going to bully in a year's time 100 times. Let's 2-3 times a day. I think that's a low number.
So that's not a statistical fact number.
No,
but
I'm
it's
just
more of a
throwing these
concept,
out.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm picking the lowest number I can.
Right.
It's been 6,000 kids, 1%. I'm guessing in a year's time, a kid that bullies is going to do it at least 100 times in a year's time.
Sure.
Well, that means that the show, perhaps, possibility, that the show's prevented some kid from getting bullied. There's 6,000 times some kid didn't get bullied or won't get bullied because of your show, of this effort.
That's a big impact.
And those are using that's tiny
the low
numbers. Those are low numbers. There has to be an effect. I'm sure we're doing good.
Yeah, well, you're obviously doing. You have an approved program that you're doing more good than harm. There's no harm being done. I mean, you're bringing awareness to a topic that needs to be talked about and needs to be on the forefront. And not if you can. I'm assuming if you can stop the bullying early on age, right? You kind of nip something in the bud.
That's kind of the hope.
It prevents someone growing up being a schmuck like myself. I'm sure I bullied, and whoever I bullied, I didn't mean to.
Hey,
but I'm apologizing. I was bullied at times. I'm more of a ball buster, really, but I'm sure that could come across in a bullying way.
It's more than just getting picked on or joking around in the schoolyard. It's repetitive,
right?
It's I think the definition is someone's bullied when they're exposed repeatedly and over time to negative actions by another person or persons.
So when my head was getting flushed in the toilet repeatedally,
yeah, that was bullying.
That was bullying.
It felt like it probably.
Okay, too. That was called initiation, I thought.
Yeah, that's probably bullying.
That's right. And when they would tuck my feet inside the wedgies, couldn't move.
Bullying. Yeah.
I felt better about it then.
Well,
now I feel bad.
Probably did.
So, you've been doing this 2 years, roughly.
Yep.
2 years. 6,000 kids.
I've been in front of 6,000 kids probably this year, and it's only halfway through the school year.
Oh, this year alone?
This year.
So this is a program. How often are you inside the schools? Is it just in Iredell County, or are you around
Alexander County and Iredell County? Anywhere I can get to go, I'll go. Mostly it's been Iredell County. And some schools will have me, do 2-3 shows at the school because they have a larger student body, and so that's what they require to get in front of me. But K through 5, trying to get them early, like you say. And my hope is at some point I can put something I think is going to be effective for maybe middle schools as well. But that I think is a bit tougher, a tougher thing. Right. Yeah, a little scary.
It'd be scary for me even trying to teach something.
But K through 5, very responsive to it, and I think we've done some good. Try to teach respect, thoughtfulness, kindness, the concept of integrity. Being true and honest, that kind of thing.
How was the program received from the parents? Well,
I don't see the parents.
There's no interaction. Know. Okay.
Yeah, the kids at school and the teachers at school.
I didn't know if maybe there was some feedback like, "Hey, my son has let me know this bullying has been as a parent, all because of your show."
Well, hopefully
it's trickled back home. I didn't know if maybe someone from the school system had let you know, like, "Hey, we're finding out that kids are getting bullied." As the teacher, going home and telling their mom, or maybe they're more comfortable telling the teacher and not their parent.
Well, the whole thing about the thing is, I say tell a teacher or an adult, to your parent, that kind of thing.
It takes a lot of courage for someone to stand up and
Sure.
go tell an authority figure that somebody's being mean, bullying them. Because then the repercussions of what's going to happen from the bully or his friends.
Yeah.
I'm already getting inside. I'm like, man, it creates an emotional reaction from people. In what I've seen, even growing up, usually it's not the person who's doing the harm; it's the person that retaliates, it's caught, or gets in trouble. So you being pushed around, then finally someone has enough, and they retaliate in a negative way.
Yeah.
Then that person who is now doing the retaliating, they've had enough. They're the one that gets caught, and they're the one that gets in trouble. Just in my personal experience, I've seen growing up, and even as as an adult.
Yeah,
it's never the guy at the bar who punches first.
Yeah, well, and we're dealing with K through 5 here,
right? So they're not at the bar yet.
Probably not a
Thank
ton
goodness.
of retaliation going on.
But you never know. Like for instance, my 2-year-olds. I don't see Sullivan scratch Dempsey, but when I turn around, I see him grabbing her by the hair and dragging her, and I'm yelling at him, but she's the one who scratched first, and that sort of thing. So it kind of gets, and vice versa.
Brother sisterly kind of just harassment than bullying, I think.
Right. But that, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you incorporate some magic into your show
to get their attention.
And what type of magic do you do for them?
Well, I think in the every word's no, that wasn't magic. At the end of this, we get 2 more pieces of paper, 2 different color pieces of paper, and we start talking about how we can all look different, but we're truly all the same. So we segue into that, and I'm tearing up these 2 pieces of paper. I give the girl that's helping me the 2 pieces of paper. And as we're talking about how we're all the same, even though we look different, and we call out differences in the kids that are here at the show or there at the show. We're tearing up these pieces of paper, and she hands me hers, and we're putting them back together as we're discussing this concept of being different but the same, and diversity, because they don't know what diversity is, but we explain what that is. And then we unfold the pieces of paper at the end of that conversation, and those pieces of paper have turned into a nice paper hat that I place on the little girl's head. So it ends up with some magic.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a concept, there's an effect we do where there's a little cutout of a man, a little boy, and I talk about how we used to be good friends, but he used to have a hard time in school. And I say the girls picked on him, they called him names. I never did, but I never stood up for him, and I should have. And because I never stood up for him, every day when he came to school, he felt smaller, like less of a person. And I take the little cutout of his head, and I place a smaller head on him, a replica, but it's smaller. And the kids get a visual of, wow, he feels smaller, he feels bad.
Right.
And then I say, well, the boys did the same thing. They push him in recess and all that other stuff. But I never did those mean things. But I never told a teacher or a principal what was going on, because I never did, because they kept doing those things. Every day when he went to school, he felt even smaller. And I put an even smaller head on that little figure. And I can see the kids getting quiet as I do this. They're getting quieter. They're really getting into it. And then,
yeah, you're drawing me in.
I say the last thing, it wasn't the worst part. The worst part was how lonely he felt, because he didn't have any friends. I say every day he walked through the halls all alone. When he wasn't getting picked on in the playground, he'd spend recess all alone and eat lunch all alone because he didn't have any friends. And I can just see the kids quietening down. And they've been screaming and going crazy and having a great time, but I can see them all getting real quiet.
Dude, you're killing me.
This
kid.
And
right
I say,
now doesn't exist.
I was afraid to offering my friendship, because I thought if I offered him my friendship, well, they'd make fun of me and they'd pick on me. So every day when he came to school, he felt even smaller. I take that tiny little head off, and I got this cloth. And I say, one day he didn't even come to school at all. I say he stayed home. I'm putting the little head in this little handkerchief, folding it up and placing the head in the handkerchief, saying, He stayed in bed, covered up in his blanket. He refused to go to school. I said, when I heard that, I felt terrible. You know what I did? Now they're really quiet right now, and they're really, I'm really pulling them in. I get a balloon. Oh, by the way, and I say, you wish you never have to go to school. You wish you could just disappear. And the handkerchief opens up, and the head's gone. The little boy's head's disappeared. And then a hush goes over the kids. And I say, you know what I did when I heard that? I said, I went to the store and I bought him a balloon. And I take a balloon and it snaps and it smacks my finger, and I act like it hurts, and the kids start laughing. It breaks the ice. It broke the thing, right? Now they're laughing. And I say, I went to the store and I bought him a balloon. It pops my hand again. I say, I know what happens. It happens every time I say the word balloon, and I pop my hand again. I'm not going to say the word balloon, and I pop my hand again. And they're laughing hysterically at this point. They're having a blast. I brought them back out of that sadness.
Yeah, man, I was down there with them.
Yeah, I brought them back out. It's all fun now. It's all fun now. So then I say I blew up. That's when I blew up the balloon. I blew it up, and it's a big yellow balloon, and I drew a face on it, and I said I went to his house, and I offered him the balloon. I said, will you be my friend? And I've drawn a happy, smiley face on the balloon. I said, well, offering my friendship, well, I put a smile on his face, and I put the balloon on the cutout of the boy's body that doesn't have a face anymore. Now it's got a smiley balloon face on it. And I say, because I offered him my friendship, and because he was happy now, he came to school the next day, and we all clap. It's great. Offering my friendship, he came to school the next day. And because of offering my friendship, because I stood up for him, and because I told the adults what was going on, he had a friend now, someone that would look out for him, he was happy, and he didn't feel small anymore. And then the balloon pops, and his face is back, his real face is back, and not the balloon. The kids jump, and it's a big, exciting moment, but it lets them know, stand up for somebody. I say, if you guys can do these three things, you stand up for someone that's getting picked on, if you can let an adult know what's going on, and offer someone your friendship if they don't look like they got a friend. I said, you guys can make sure no one in your school feels small or less of a person ever again.
Oh, it has to be impacted. I'm impacted.
And then they all clap, and we agree that that's what they're going to do.
Right.
It's huge. It's just super.
But it's a good message.
Oh yeah.
And they can relate to that.
And they really get into the story. I can see it just wash over them as I'm telling the story. And then they're happy because the balloon's smacking me in the face, and they think that's funny.
How long does your
It's a 45-minute show.
45-minute show. And what led you to bullying, anti-bullying in your show?
Yeah, just looking for something constructive that I could do with the magic. I mean, I do a magic birthday party, and it's a hoot, and it's a blast, and it's tons of fun. Kids are bouncing off the wall, nothing but fun. But we thought, hey, we can have an effect here if we do some show with a theme. And bullying seemed to be an appropriate theme because it was seemed to be a need, because I heard a lot of stories about kids reacting to an extreme to bullying.
What's interesting is that even with today in technology and information and people know about bullying, and there are anti-bullying campaigns. I would like to think that it's had an impact, but it seems like maybe we're just more aware of the bullying. So it seems like there's more because we have access to information constantly, social media, 24-hour news cycles.
I think it amplifies it.
It amplifies it. So do you think the bullying has increased, decreased, or stayed? Obviously,
you know what?
You hope it's decreased.
You know what? Concept of bullying, someone getting bullied, I think it's about the same as it's always been. Okay. But I do think it gets amplified. It gets amplified especially at the age group where they have access to a smartphone. They have access to that's when it gets amplified. And I think a lot of kids have access, so therefore they're a bit more worldly at a younger age.
More exposed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think so.
Things.
Yeah.
I mean,
there are things that weren't even a concept for me in the second grade. that are concepts for second grade, which is not.
Probably a good idea
So
to keep them as possible.
they deal with a
overexposure, overaccess.
Bless their hearts, they have a lot more nowadays, and hopefully give them a tool set that will help them cure it. At least I can help them.
Is your show available online somewhere where they could watch
There
the entire?
Are a few, not the entire show,
not
but
the
there are a
entire
few
show.
clips on. There's a Mr. Marvel's Bye Bye Bullies on Facebook.
Okay.
And there are a few clips on that. There are testimonials from some teachers. See, there are a couple of clips on. They can see, some things in the show.
Have you ever thought about putting your show of that up on rewatch again if they wanted to at home or anything?
Considered it. Right now we just have a few clips of it. So maybe we'll come up, maybe I'll come up with some handouts as well, like that. That's I'm predominantly a magician that does a bully show, and not an educator. So
but the
know my role kind of thing.
I've known of you for a long time. I was born and raised here, and I've seen you around town, and I've seen not any of your shows in particular, but I'm a huge fan of Matt. But then I found out you had bullying aspect show about that. That's a guy I want to come on and talk about.
I appreciate it.
To get the word. And I didn't know that you're looking for a sponsorship, so hopefully someone listening spread the word. I'd hate for your message to stop and the show to stop, since it's having.
There's the sponsorship would be great if I could find a sponsor. There's a GoFundMe thing.
Oh, there is. Okay.
There's a link that page. Bye Bye Bully
on the Facebook page.
Yep, Facebook page.
So when how often do you practice your magic? Is that every day that you?
Sure.
Yeah, you practice every day.
Reading about it or practicing about it. Let me show you something. Listen. We've talked a tremendous amount, which is great. Let me show you something that looks pretty spectacular. I tell you what, I got 3 spoons here.
Okay.
Here, you take them.
Take all 3.
Take all 3.
Okay.
Take a look at them. Just they're spoons. You choose which spoon you want me to use. Okay.
Okay.
What I'm gonna try to do is affect. You tell me which one you. Oh, by the way. I'll get near my mic again. They're all. You can see they're all basically the same shape. It's really important.
Correct.
You pick one and hand me that one. You keep the others. Right. It's a bit of a stretch here. You got it?
Yeah, I got these little gator arms.
Well, no, you got T-Rex arms, gator arms. T-Rex.
That's right. I have a shirt that says T-Rex from my father.
T-Rex. Okay, so this is it, and I guess this camera can see it. All right. This is trying to affect the metal in the spoon with a thought, forcing some energy in.
You're bending the spoon.
Yeah. And
not touching the spoon.
That's right. Hopefully they're watching the YouTube thing. They can see that, yeah.
If anyone can see
this represents about a year of effort.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
You can push it towards that camera over there. They might be able to see it.
About a year of effort.
Spoon is legitimately.
I tell you what. Hand me one of the other ones real quick here. And I'll put it with that one, and you can see just how much it bent that time.
Get out of here.
I know that showed my wife how to do this one time. And here, you take that back. Okay. How to do it. And it bent in her hand. She threw it on the ground and screamed last time she did it. Okay, here we go. I got that mic in my way, so it's a little tricky. Here we go.
It's almost like you're petting it like a cat.
Well, we're just forcing some energy into it. The best way I can describe this and what I'm doing, it's like being a black belt at karate. Okay, a black belt at karate. Well, they study something that we don't study. They study different forms of karate in that martial art form, right? And then they exercise like we don't exercise. You look like you exercise, but I don't exercise. And then they can do things with their body that we can't do, right?
Are you seeing this?
So I study books and manuscripts that people don't even know exist, right? Which have a language of their own, and gives me a skill set to do what I do.
Dude,
a skill set. Okay, I don't have any special power that anyone else doesn't have. This is just a skill set, something I work on. Okay, check this out. Watch this. Try to get this so everybody can see you and them too. Like chi or ki, watch that. As a bends down, a 90-degree angle. Okay. It's amazing. I tell you, it's just amazing. It's amazing. Did you see The Matrix? Did you see The Matrix? The first one, the one that
Never
counted,
saw it.
right? Oh, really? Well, the first one's the one that counts. You just stared at the spoon and watched it bend. Look at that.
Dude.
He's being quiet.
Do you know how he's doing this? Are you in on this?
Yeah, no, he doesn't. I tell you, I'm gonna bend the spoon back out, okay?
Okay, so
they're very strong. They're very strong spoons.
Yeah, I mean,
you felt it, right? They're
yeah.
just spoons. I buy them tons at a time. Check this out.
Because you're bending them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just stare at the spoon and get it to do something a little bit different. Check that out. It twists. If you look at that, that spoon's twisted 360 degrees.
You see that?
You couldn't do that with a tool.
Do you see this?
And not mar it.
If you, like, you've literally twisted it.
Oh yeah.
That is wild, man.
So I practice a lot, and that represents again at least a year of effort of trying to do something.
So if you can
bend like that,
if you can bend metal with your mind, can you tell me? Can you tell what people are thinking? Read people's minds? That may be really far out there. Sorry,
well, it's all. I'm a magician. These are all. It appears that I can do these things.
Well,
basically that's it. It appears that I can do these things.
So it appears that
it appears that this means, and I'm gonna let you have that. All that's yours. You take that.
But it's really not bent.
No, it's bent. It's bent. Yeah.
It's like, no, this.
It's bent. It's bent. Okay, I can do two things. I can do one of two things.
Okay.
I tell you what. There's different things. There's reading. There's the appearance of reading someone's mind, right? And then there's appearance of making, like, say, a prediction, right?
Oh, so you
the way I explain this one is if I can just look into the future a minute or 30 seconds into the future, okay, and I'll write a number down.
Right.
Okay. This is 30 seconds into the future. Just a number. A number's pretty easy. It's just a number. A 3-digit number. I've looked 30 seconds into the future. Now I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
The pencil's there. I'm not touching. Name a 3-digit number.
You mean to name it out loud?
Yeah, do it right now.
142.
142.
Yeah.
Is there a reason? Does 142 like have some significance?
Nope.
Okay. Now I wrote a number down. Looked a little bit into the future. Take a look at that.
That says 142. Let me see that.
142. If I can just look into the future. 30 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. That.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. That is some crazy stuff. I don't even know how you did. How did you do that? Well, you can't tell me.
Yeah. What I tell my kids, magic.
It's magic.
Yeah, I did it by magic.
Dude, this is some serious David Copperfield stuff that's happening.
I tell you what I want you to do.
The minute you levitate.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so again, it's a bit of a stretch, but I tell you what, I want to give you these cards. I want you to take the top card, right?
Okay.
I want you, here, I got a marker in here. Here we go. That marker. You know what kind of marker that is?
It looks like a Sharpie.
It's a magic marker. It's a bad joke, yeah.
No, it's great. So, I fell for it.
So take the marker, right?
Okay.
I want you to draw a thing.
Draw a thing.
On the back of the card. Doesn't have to be fancy, right? Okay. When you finish drawing that thing, if you put that card back on top so I can't see it.
Okay.
I'm going to have to turn my head while you do it. Right, there's the marker. It clicks to open. And
draw whatever I want.
Whatever you want. And it's a kid's show, so be careful. Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to turn away.
On the back here.
And Julius will sing a song while we're waiting. He'll put some music on or something. So anything you want, anything in the known universe. How's that sound? Super.
Okay, and then
you
I
got
place
it? Doesn't have to be fancy. You have to throw the Mona Lisa. Yeah, put it back on top so I can't see it when I turn around.
Okay.
It's
good?
there?
Yes, sir.
Super. Hand it back to me. This is difficult. I haven't done this sitting down. A new experience to me here. Okay, so it's on top, right?
Yes, I placed it on top.
I'm going to mix it into the pack here.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm a magician.
Yep.
My job, it's to deceive you a little bit, to entertain you mostly, but
I'm thoroughly entertained.
The way I do that is kind of tricky and stuff, okay?
Right.
So is it on the bottom?
Doesn't seem.
All right, so people, I'm a magician.
Right.
Right, and people think I mix it to the bottom.
Right.
And then I just take a look at it. They think I cheat.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, I cheat. It's my job. Okay, is it on top? Is it on top?
It is not on top.
Super, okay. I want you to think of that thing you did.
Yep.
All right, just think of it. I'm going to try and reach across this table. There's about 4 feet between us.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and look into your thoughts. I want you to imagine there's a blank screen in your mind. I want you to retrace whatever it was on that screen. Okay. All right, you doing that right now?
Right now.
Try not to leave anything out. Now, we all draw differently, right?
Yeah.
And like if you drew a pony and I drew a pony, it would look different, right?
Yes.
Did you draw a pony?
I did not draw a pony.
Okay, hold on a second. I didn't get a pony there. All right. Well, you know what? I think I got it. I think I got it. I'm going to lay mine right there. Okay? Let's find yours.
Okay.
Let's find yours. I'm gonna I guess they can see it here. And we'll look through here and we'll see if we can find it. You did draw something, right?
I did draw something.
Okay.
It's in there.
All right. Oh, there we go. There we go.
There it is.
What is that?
It's a baseball.
A baseball. Drew a baseball.
All right. I'm going
to let you hold that. There's your baseball, okay?
Thank you.
There's the thing that I did. I'm going to slide that over towards you. Okay? There's the one that you drew a baseball. You redid it in your mind. I tried to look into your thoughts. Check out what I did. It's probably not the same as your baseball, but hey, a baseball.
It's really close. That is crazy.
Baseball, crazy stuff, mind reading stuff.
That is phenomenal. Dude. Be here all night. So, how long have you been practicing magic?
Oh wow, I've done magic since I was probably about 11 or 12.
And who were some of your influences, or who did you look up to?
Real easy. There used to be a guy came by our school. When I was in the elementary school, he'd come by once a year. Called himself Willie the Clown.
Willie the Clown.
He's a friend of mine now.
He's still alive.
He's in his mid to late 80s, I'm guessing. Yeah.
And does he still practice magic?
He does.
There used to be a clown group of older gentlemen who would go around, I want to say, the nursing homes and places, and they would perform a show every now and then. It was a couple church guys.
I think they were from Wesley Methodist
Church. That's right. Yeah.
Sure enough. Yeah, I know those guys. The guy that influenced me probably was the reason I got a magic kit one year. The clown got his. I don't guess he'd mind me. Think I should say his name? Anyway, his name's Bill McClowry. Did a show with his wife a little later in the years. We stopped being a clown, went out, and Bill knows it. He knows he's the reason.
He knows he's the reason.
Yeah.
And so when did you start practicing? Like, you're like, oh, okay, I got my first little magic set, and now you're like, all right, I'm gonna start performing.
Oh gosh, I did that pretty soon. 6 months, a year after I got the kit. And I used to go out. A friend of mine, we used to do he was a magician too, and we used to go out and do shows together.
Where do you find a magic kit or magic set? Like, if there's
nowadays,
now at Amazon. Back then, well, back then
it was a Sears and Roebuck catalog.
Seriously?
Christmas time.
And then nowadays, you just order them off Amazon, or
sure, there are magic shops online and Amazon, anything like that. Sure.
Is magic
actually? There's some stores here in town that sell magic kits.
There are.
Mm-hmm.
Where at? For anybody who's listening, they want to go pick up a magic.
Best place I found is Hobby Lobby.
They
Believe it or
sell
not,
a magic set.
Yeah, they do.
I just had a great question and it left me. That happens when you get my age. That's when it starts.
Oh.
You probably stole it from me. You know exactly what I'm going to ask you.
No, no mind reading here on that one there.
Oh, now I remember. So when I was growing up, there was magic. You would see like specials on TV with David Copperfield.
Sure.
Then David Blaine was very popular. Chris Angel. Do you think that magic popular mainstream as it used to be, or is it coming back? Like, where is magic in the world of entertainment?
Okay. There for a while, it was the the tuxedo and all that kind of
Yeah.
stringent kind of thing, and then magic, it was kind of having a little problem. It went from Mark Wilson. He went to Doug Henning was just kind of a hippie guy in the 70s, and then he had David Copperfield, and he was approachable, kind of a family thing.
Yeah.
And then you had Blaine, David Blaine, Chris Angel thing. David Blaine, I think, brought magic to be a more popular, real looking thing with the street magic. They called it
Right. Yeah.
just magic you did in the street, but close up magic.
Right.
And close up magic is very popular. And then you have Bull Penn and Teller, which is a really great way to disguise a variety magic show.
And they're funny too.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And Penn and Teller were doing magic specials.
They used to have their HBS specials, right? Didn't they? Penn and Teller do HBS specials.
Even on regular television, they had specials. Yeah, sure did. And their thing was, very, very. They broke the rules. We're going to show you something that these guys aren't going to show you.
Right.
At least the implication that they're breaking the rules while they did it. So a lot of magic on television now. There's a death by show. There's Carbonaro Effect. There's all kinds of magic shows on TV now.
Definitely a habanero effect on TV. Hot peppers.
There's a lot of them are legit, and a lot of them use what I would say TV magic.
What's TV magic?
They may take some post-production liberties.
They're cheating.
A little bit.
Of cheating.
There's no need for it either. They just hop it up a bit.
So you're a student of magic. You study it. You read about it. Say like there's even some stuff you read other people.
Well, it's magic stuff. There's lots of stuff that, the general public doesn't know exists, especially the mind reading stuff had a vocabulary kind of all of its own.
It does.
And just as
like
magic
its own
does.
language in a way.
Well, they're terms, and for things that you do that you have to step back 2 or 3 steps and learn what that term means. As you get into it, then you know what it is and you move along, that kind of thing.
We're going to ask them really. This is fascinating. So, are there? That's probably
mostly what I study now is how to do magic for kids. That's mostly what I study.
Are there like conventions you go to or workshops you go to hone your craft or learn from people in your field?
Just like anything else.
There is.
Just like anything else, there are some you can go to. I personally don't, because I can get more out of studying a book, I feel. And then there are lectures that I have access to, which is like going to a convention every other week.
Okay.
When I get the lecture. With some guy that does it, on how he does it, and his ideas behind why he does it, or why he does it that way.
Is that giving away their secret though a little bit?
Well, I'm a magician paying for the lecture, so
okay,
it's more of an instructional thing. Yeah.
So if I were to pay you as a student,
sure, yeah.
No, I don't want to do
that. You know what? It's a lot. You're going to enjoy it more.
Yeah, I love being entertained.
Not knowing what I'm up to.
Absolutely, I love being entertained.
You're going to enjoy it a ton more if I tell you. If I tell you what's behind the curtain,
right?
I'm doing you a disservice.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
No,
you just don't.
You lulled me into your story earlier, so I'm like a K through 5 mentality.
And that's a big part of it. You gotta have you gotta have a story to go with it. You can't just do the thing.
Right. So are you performing anywhere anytime soon? Like on your own as a magician somewhere that you would like to plug or bring up? Or?
Well, it's like nowhere that the general public could go and attend.
Gotcha.
You know, it's private things.
Private parties.
Exactly.
So you're available for private parties if they want to book.
Oh yeah, I was down in the middle of South Carolina last Sunday. Yeah.
Where's the most interesting?
And I do like RV shows, you know, a lot, and kids' birthday parties. Birthday party, you know, in Charlotte a couple weeks ago. It just varies. You
Where's
never
the
know.
most interesting place you've ever done a magic show?
Oh wow, caught me off guard with that one.
I was blocking my thought process.
Yeah. But you know, it had to be. It doesn't get much more interesting than some. You know, when you got 53-year-olds in front of you.
That sounds very challenging.
It's challenging, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
Where's the scariest place where you've ever thought, like, if I get out of this place, I'll be lucky, or I better get some laughs, or I might get something hurled at me?
Again, you know, you got a bunch of kids around you, and they're you got to keep them focused. You got to keep them engaged. You know, there's a real art to that. There's real art to that.
Oh, there's
beyond the magic. There's crowd control for tiny people. That's it's a skill set. It's a learned thing.
Have you ever been in a situation to where you performed a show and you're like, for no amount of money will I ever go back to this place? No. Okay, so you had some pretty positive experiences.
Look, and if something in the show I don't get the response that I thought I should, that's my fault. Okay? It's not the person looking at the magic. Magic, you know, it doesn't go the way I thought it should or something. That's me. I should have led you down that path in a different way. And that's a learning experience for me to do it better. I had a comedian
on a few weeks ago, and you know, he's like, I know when I'm bombing and I know when I've really killed it. And do you feel like, even you've been doing this for many, many years, do you feel like there's still times where you're like, yep, I kill it every time? You're like, man, I just wasn't that good.
You know, sometimes you never are truly, I don't think, completely satisfied with what you presented, or well, maybe not satisfied with the reaction you got, maybe that kind of thing, or you thought, well, I could have done that, or I could have done this. And as you're doing it, there are two realities. There's your reality, and there's the reality that I have in my head. You know, and a lot of times I'm getting as much joy from a reality in my head going, I can't, wow, look, he doesn't have, you know, look what I did that created that response. And I can never tell you about that. Right. I can't tell you the secret stuff that I did that gave me a lot of satisfaction, that it was effective. You'll never know about that part of it. I can't tell anybody about that part of it. And that I get a lot of joy from that part, as well as, you know, bringing having a reaction and giving someone a moment of Christmas morning when you cut around that corner and you saw that new bike. That's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for a moment of astonishment. That's it. If I can give, and it's not about me fooling you, it's about me giving you a gift of a moment of astonishment. That's what it's about.
I've been blown away tonight on several things. Before we wrap up, is there another trick you can do or something before we head out of here?
Oh wow, okay, caught me off guard.
I like catching them off guard.
Did the thing there, huh?
Did the thing.
Yeah, I did the thing there. I tell you what, we'll do this, and the other would be a mind reading thing, and this is more of a magic. We've already done the mind reading thing, right?
Right. And while Chris is doing the cards, remember, if you're listening and you want to help out, we'll put some link to Chris's information here, Mr. Marvel, on the show for you guys to be sponsored in the future.
Chris Benfield, it's Mr. Marvel if you're 12 and under. Right? There we go. Got a Queen of Spades. All right. This will be your card, Brandon. Okay. Hold your hand out. Bring it over here. All right. Well, we got to stay. Put your other hand on top of the Queen, if you would, please.
Got it.
All right. I'm going to need a card as well. Mine will be Okay, ace of diamonds.
Ace of diamonds.
Ace of money and shopping. You probably didn't know that. Okay, this is what I'm going to do a stretch here. So I'll take my ace. I'm going to reach over as best I can. No, you hold yours.
Okay.
Just hold it there. Put your hand on top of it. And I'm just going to wave the ace over yours. I'm going to wave it under. I'm going to remove it from your sight just for a moment. That's all I have to do. There was a moment there I couldn't see it. There was a moment there you couldn't see my card.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
And you've been able to see a corner of yours sticking out of your hand pretty much the whole time.
The entire time.
Right. Look what I got. Now
I'm
holding the Queen of Spades. And look in your hand. There you go. There you go.
Dude, that is awesome. Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for what you're doing with the bullying campaign. Keep up the good work. And again, thank everyone for listening. To get in touch with Chris Benfield, we'll put your information on the link to the YouTube channel. And again, thank you to States Vegas Clothing Company. You can check those guys out. And thank you to Hunk and Junk Calling. And as always, to Julius and States Vegas Radio. And don't be a bully.
There you go.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Chris.
Thank you. Super.